Hello, welcome. I'm Fiona Hall, systems coach, mum, and writer. And today it's my great pleasure to interview Catherine Newton from Catherine Newton International. And today we're going to talk about how systems have helped her business to grow. Catherine is an award-winning entrepreneurial success coach, and she's a sought-after speaker in the USA. And I'm lucky enough to have her as my mindset and marketing mentor. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. A bit of a mouthful, the old Catherine Newton International, but you got it out there in the end.
I did finally, yes.
Well done. Well done.
It's the heat, it's melting my brain as well.
Yes, yeah. We'll let you have that. Plus, it's the week before Christmas, so.
Exactly. So, Catherine, I've got a list of questions I'm going to walk through with you, and we're going to talk about your business. And first of all, do you want to give people a bit of a background on how long you've been in business?
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned before, I'm a mindset and marketing mentor. And I've been doing what I've been doing for the last 4.5 years, and I absolutely love what I do. I find myself very inspired and empowered helping women entrepreneurs primarily, but I'm actually finding that I'm reaching out to more people because of the work that I'm doing now with Bob Proctor. I've become a Bob Proctor ambassador, which is very, very exciting. So taking people through that missing gap between what's working and what's not working, and realizing that success is actually 90% mindset. And so I'm really going to be ramping up helping people with their mindset in 2013, because actually most of the time, Fiona, what I find is people actually know what they need to do around their marketing. They're just not doing it, and the reason they're not doing it is because of something that's going on up here. So that's where I love to get in. So that's my juiciness that I offer the world, and absolutely love what I'm doing.
Fantastic, and I love what you do too.
Yay!
So, thinking about systems, that's our topic for today. What systems have helped you to grow your business?
Gosh, where do I start? Can I give a bit of a background first, Fiona, in regard to me and systems? Because of my personality type, I'm the kind of person I like to get out there and meet people, and I love to help people, and I love to connect with them. For me, systems in my business has never been a real fit. I've been one of these people that's resisted putting proper systems in place, even though I've known that it's the best thing for me, even though I've known that having systems in place promotes consistency. It saves you actually time, energy and money along the way. Yeah. And also what it does is it helps you to eliminate the clutter that happens around you. Even though I knew those three things, I wasn't putting them into place. And what happened was that and along the way, I met this fabulous systems coach, and let me just think for a minute. I think her name's Fiona Hall. That's right. And what you've done, I mean, this is shameless plugging. I'm going to just go for it because
go on.
Well, what you did, Fiona, for me was that you really helped me to understand that it's not as bad as it I think it is, and so I think that the really big piece for me with systems and seeing that it was going to make my business fit together more succinctly. It's going to be able to give my customers a better quality experience. I mean, for me, that was enough to say yes to. So actually getting over my mindset around, oh God, systems are too hard. Oh, it takes too much effort. Oh, I don't know where to start. Once I got through the stuff that was going on behind that and realized, actually, you know what? What if I was to let go of the fact of this idea that systems is difficult and it's, confusing and I don't know where to start? What if I was let go of that? What would that look like? And so then I, was able to open up my mind to seeing that actually it's a great thing to have systems, and it's so satisfying. So, I can't thank you enough for being my support person in that role. So, thank you.
You're welcome. And so, as you mentioned, it is the mindset that gets in the way, and the word systems conjures up geeks in a room somewhere doing code or huge pieces of complicated software. So as I know from working with you in your business, that isn't always the case. Can you tell us about some of the software that you currently use to help automate and take out the tediousness in your work, in your company?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that I use at the moment, I'm using MailChimp for my back-end database system, and I'm actually in the process of changing over to Infusionsoft because I've done my research and I found that that's going to be the best next step for my business.
Right.
It's a more complex vehicle, and I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks learning how to use it. But I know that it's going to be really great CRM system and shopping cart as well.
Right.
In the meantime, I use PayPal for the financial side of the business, and I've got all my websites are sitting on WordPress. For my booking system, I use TimeTrade.
Yeah.
And TimeTrade is exceptional for those of us that actually require regular bookings with clients, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
And if people go to my website catherinenewton.com, they'll see an example of it there actually with the complimentary strategy session button, and it takes you straight through to TimeTrade.
Right.
It's just it's so rewarding having that as a system in place. So those really are the key ones. For my online trainings that I do, I use GoToMeeting.
Yep.
I use that one specifically just for the tele classes because it's a local calling number, so it's an Auckland or Wellington based calling number. But for my overseas teleseminars and webinars, I do use Instant Teleseminar.
Right.
And I've used that one from the beginning. I love the simplicity of using that. And once again, that was another example of a couple of systems that freaked me out. I mean, technology is not my friend. I mean, I'll rephrase
It
that.
is now, isn't it?
It is now, my friend.
Yeah.
However, in the beginning, when I was first starting my business, oh my gosh, it was like I was scratching my head and I was wondering, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But take heed in the fact that here's someone who hasn't been particularly technically savvy. I've taught myself to use all of these systems, and they are all so invaluable in helping to create a better experience for me and my team, and also for my clients.
Definitely. I can imagine too, having a lot of that stuff automated saves a lot of time for you personally.
Completely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, especially the time trade. That is outstanding as far as, not having to deal with, oh, well, what time suits you? Can you make this time? No, I'm busy then. Well, how about then? Oh, no, I've already booked that time. All this time going. And it just is beautifully streamlined.
Great. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, obviously you've been in business a few years now. So what was the first, if you're thinking back about what was the first kind of system that you put in place to free up your time and give you some more consistency and reliability about knowing and planning your time yourself?
Fantastic question, actually, Fiona, because one of the key components that we as entrepreneurs need to look at is where is our money coming from? And our money is coming from our clients. And so I figured that, to be in business, I need to be making money because I'm a business owner, not a hobby owner. So I need to be real about that.
Yeah.
And so what I was able to do was to sit back and see, right, so what is my enrollment process? How do I enroll my clients? Even from the perspective of how do I pre-qualify them? Because, like we want to work with people who want to work with us. We want to work with people who are hungry to take on board our expertise, and so I created a pre-qualifying process whereby before people actually come on board and get a complimentary session with me, they need to fill in a form, and this form will give me a background as to what are their challenges, where are they finding lack in their lives, where do they need the greatest help, what's their vision for now, for 12 months and for 5 years time, because I want to make sure that I'm working with big picture thinkers who are looking forward, and also I need to know if people have got either the time, the resources, or the finances to work with me.
Sure.
And the finances is an interesting question to ask, because most people will try to kind of, weasel their way out, because actually all they want is that free call. But you and I both know that we'd be doing our clients a disservice if we weren't actually putting an offer in front of them, because after all, we know that that using our system of coaching, of mentoring, of leading workshops, of speaking, of training, that we ultimately can help our clients in ways that they couldn't move forward without them, without us, without our expertise. So I want to make sure that I'm working with people who are really open and ripe and ready to work with me. And I very early on developed a really succinct and really heartfelt enrollment process conversation. That was another one of my systems that I developed, because the enrollment process, I'm sure you'd agree, Fiona, it needs to come from the heart. It needs to be a conversation, not a rigid list of, I'm going to ask you this question, this question, this question. It needs to literally flow, so that by the time you go to make the offer, it's an absolute no-brainer that you two are a fit, and what you have to offer them is going to serve them and help them grow their business, heal their relationship, get them what they want out of their lives. So the whole process of enrolling clients was one I mastered as quickly as I possibly could, because that enrollment conversation is everything.
Well, it leads to your path to cash, quickest path to, making a business out of what you're doing.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. And of course, then the next thing I needed to work on was the whole payment process. Well, how are my clients going to pay for services? Especially when I was just a one-man band or a one-woman band, and it was just me in my business, and I didn't have the support of a bookkeeper. I didn't have the support of a PA, of a web person. And now we've got some great systems in place for, you enroll in a program. This is how we roll. This is what we do. This is the invoice you get. This is the reminder. And, it just feels so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so, when you're looking at your systems and your success, kind of how much would you attribute your success now as to, if you're looking back, and if you hadn't had those systems in place, where would you be?
Oh my gosh. Well, as you know, I do quite a bit of traveling, and I speak in Australia and in America as well as in New Zealand. I have to have systems in place in my business, otherwise my business will not tick over. And I can go overseas knowing that emails are still being sent. I can go overseas knowing that payments are still being collected. I can go overseas and know that client requests are still being answered. And that's because I've got systems in place that have allowed that to happen. And it's so satisfying. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're all aiming for, isn't it? Having a business that works when we're not there all the time.
Yeah, it's a system that works for me, it's a system that works for my clients, and it's a system that works for my team. And look, don't get me wrong, we still have moments where we're on a learning curve, and every now and again the ball gets dropped. But when the ball gets dropped, what we do, Fiona, is we regroup and we go, right, what worked about that? What didn't work?
Yeah.
What do we need to make sure that next time this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, great.
So that it's a win-win for everybody.
Brilliant. And that's the key questions I ask my clients with a system, is what's not working, and, what do we need to tweak? Because it's systems are a constantly evolving process. Like, we're growing as human beings. Yeah. Our business is always growing and evolving to meet the marketplace. Therefore, our systems need to be another integral team member in your business that's nurtured and looked after.
Yes, and Fiona, not only systems that actually help the business grow, and tighten up the way that you do things, and tighten up the way that, to promote that consistency that I spoke about before, to make sure that you don't have clutter around you, to make sure that you're saving time, and you're saving effort. Also, I think it's really crucial, if I just may say here, that it's really important to have a system in place for your goal setting. It's really important to have a system in place for where you're going, for what you're doing with your life, for your vision, for your, because I know that as business owners, you've got marketing plans, you've got vision statements, you've got mission statements, you've done the work. And then so often what happens, Fiona, is that people will put this in the bottom of the pile and they'll forget about it. You need to have a system whereby you're actually giving it attention. And the greatest piece of advice I can give the viewers today is to make sure that you are actually giving your goals, your lifestyle vision, your marketing plan, all of those pieces of work that you've spent so much time and effort putting into practice, you've got to give it attention.
Yeah.
And I go so far now as to saying that I've got 2 primary goals that I focus on every single day for my business growth, right? I'm going for 2 because 2 keeps me really centered. One is a financial goal and one is a health and well-being goal.
Right.
And those 2 goals I have written on a small card, and I say them to myself, and they're sitting beside my bed right now. I say them to myself in the morning, and I say them to myself in the evening. And what that does is it gets me into that feeling place of trusting and believing and visualizing that it's possible for me to be growing my business in a way that pushes me far beyond the boundaries of my logical mind and gets me into the place of imagining and seeing that it's possible that that this comes true for me. So I have some really tight systems in place to help my mental state, to help my mindset, to help the way that I think. And coupled with the really strong practical systems, which is what you teach us to do, Fiona, it literally, it's like, this is when the rubber hits the road, when you've got great mindset, when you've got great systems, and when you've got great marketing. It's that consistency that makes your business roll as smoothly as you possibly can.
Fantastic. Cool.
Yeah.
And so if you were talking to an entrepreneur who is maybe starting out in business, what would be the one piece of advice about systems you'd give them?
The one piece of advice I would give that person is chunk it down. Do one system at a time. So take the first step. What's the first thing that you do? For example, you go to a networking meeting, you meet someone who you've had a great conversation with, and what you've done is you've said to that person, what is it that you do? And they've told you what they do, and you say to them, give me your card because I might know someone that could be interested in what you do. Yeah. And then you say to them, and look, to find out more, it'd be lovely if we could meet for a coffee. Now you need to create a system around that. What's the email you're going to send to them when you get back to the office? How are you going to follow up? Are you going to follow up over Skype, or are you going to follow up over coffee face to face? Are you going to send them a reminder email? Who's going to be the one that's going to send the calendar booking to them? These are all of the things. That's a system. Yeah, and before I started this process, I didn't realize that was a system. I was like, well, this is what I do. And you're like, well, let's put it down on paper. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's the genius. A no-brainer. People don't realize how much they do have in their head that is a system, that is a knowledge about how they do business and how they serve their clients really, really well. So thank you, Catherine. That's been fantastic. I'm sure there's been lots of little insights that people have gleaned today from speaking with you. And I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and thank you for adding so much value to my business this year.
Oh, it's just a pleasure, and it's just so wonderful when businesses get together and they collaborate and they help each other, which is exactly what you and I have done for each other in 2012. And I really look forward to, to supporting more people in 2013 to get out of their own way and to change their thinking so that they can change their results. And it's been a pleasure having you as my systems coach this year, Fiona. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, my business thanks you, and my team thanks you.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks.
We'll talk with you again next year too.
Sounds great.
Bye. See you.